Speaking of things gone bad, or could go bad, or contaminated, you're going to like this. I kind of hate doing this. I'm not into this pointing my finger at people, unless I can prove it. But there's rumors going around that Vice President Joe Biden has entered the Betty Ford Clinic. I don't know how true this is. Seriously. But I can see it. Can't you? I mean, the guy's been acting really freaky lately. Well, I don't know about lately. Maybe the whole 5 years he's been in there. Now, Vice President Joe Biden, 72, reportedly entered the Betty Ford Clinic of Rancho Mirage, California on February 26th. It's according to a source close to the chemical dependency recovery facility. The vice president was escorted to the center late Thursday evening by several members of the Secret Service and Dr. Jill Biden, the vice president's wife, not his physician. Biden's official White House schedule makes no mention of the event, any kind of trip to Southern California, or anything like that. So either it's some kind of secret meeting there that he thought he could hide, or he's going in there for help. Now, look, I'm not going to make fun of the guy if he's going there for help. Nobody should. But I don't know why it should be hidden either. I mean, I think it would show that he's human, that he has issues like anybody else. Biden's recent headlines concerned what some describe as an erratic behavior. Is it erratic, or is he just acting like Uncle Joe? And that's what most people say when he's done some really weird things, that Joe is just being Joe. And some who have been, who have been under a chemical influence before, they'll tell you, this looks more like chemical dependency, chemical issues, if you would. For example, on February 17th, during a White House summit on violence, or violent extremism, the Biden made uncomfortable remarks about his familiarity. God. But he's been doing this for years. Right? Remember his comments about 7-Eleven and a few other places. You can't work at a 7-Eleven unless you have a Middle Eastern accent, something along those lines. And it figures because he's a Democrat, there was no real outcry. Nobody really screamed loud about it. Not a big deal. It's just Joe being Joe, right? That was the one that floored me, because all of a sudden he gets a pass. Nobody else would. But on February 17th, the White House summit on violent extremism, Biden made uncomfortable remarks about his familiarity with the Somali cab driver before an audience of religious and community leaders. A familiarity with Somali cab drivers. Many of whom were Muslim and of African descent. Early in the day, he awkwardly placed his hands on the shoulders of Stephanie Carter, wife of incoming Defense Secretary Ash Carter. If you remember that, that photograph went viral. But if you remember that, even Ash Carter was looking over from the podium, and he was actually he was bothered by it. He almost couldn't get through his speech. He kept looking over, and Uncle Joe, like, what are you doing? A couple of other things that the vice president did. Weird things. Again, like I always said, he's like Uncle Joe that's there for the Thanksgiving. I shouldn't use Joe, right? How about Uncle Frank? That's there for Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, you really don't want the kids alone in the room with them, but you don't mind having them around. In September 2014, Biden referred to unscrupulous bankers who prey on servicemen as Shylocks, referencing an anti-Semitic character. And why does he get away with it? In August 2012, Biden said to a Virginia crowd that Mitt Romney's financial plan for the country would put y'all back in chains. Put y'all back in chains. He asked wheelchair-bound State Senator Chuck Graham to stand up during a 2008 campaign appearance. And probably his best-known gaffe was in March of 2010 while appearing with President Obama at the signing of the Affordable Care Act. Biden was caught by an open microphone saying, "This is a big effing deal." So, Joe's had his moments. At first you think, well, we all make mistakes like that. But some of the stuff you see him do in front of the cameras, the faces he makes, the things he says, and then he's gone for 2 months at a clip. I mean, seriously, how many times have you heard me on this show say, anybody seen Joe? We can't find Joe. Where'd Joe go? Always, always, always. And again, some of the things that he said, can we just be honest here? Some of the stuff that he has said, as well as I do, if it was a Republican, man, the fireworks would abound, wouldn't they? Just amazing. Hey, I'm Joe Messina, your host. You listen to The Real Side, not the right side, not the wrong side, but the real side. Back in just a couple of minutes. A lot more coming your way right after this.